We were supposed to pick up Dr. Clark's trail here at the Jolly Good Club, but I'm not sure what good that will do us now. Those of us who are left. Everything's changed.
There she is, El Presidio.
It's grown since I was last here.
Cities have a habit of doing that.
Goodness, it's huge. How will we ever find what we're looking for?
Shouldn't be too tough to find our way around. We just need to find a safe place to park the wagon.
Oh no, this is the end of the line for me.
What?
Our deal was I get you to El Presidio. Here we are. Our business is concluded.
But I thought...
No hard feelings, Leger. The journey's been interesting for sure. Good luck finding that fortune of yours. I'll be in town a couple more days, Nadine. Come find me when you're done.
What do we do now?
Suppose we should find a place to stay. We'll need to plan...
Good evening. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt, but are you Miss Harley Leger?
Depends who's asking.
My name is Timothy King. I've been sent to welcome you to our fair city.
Thanks?
My employer is quite keen to meet you and your associates. There's a carriage waiting to take us to the offices of Vespuccia Petrol. Please, follow me if you would.
And just who is this mysterious employer of yours?
I'm afraid she would be quite cross with me if I robbed her of the pleasure of introducing herself. You'll soon be acquainted.
Fine. Let's go then.
They're here, ma'am.
Thank you, Timothy. Miss Leger, please come in. Welcome to El Presidio. I hope your journey here wasn't too unpleasant.
Just who in the ether are you?
I appreciate you must have many questions, Miss Leger. I shall gladly answer them, but first permit me to ask one of my own. Where is Mr. Ackerman?
I haven't a clue. We were attacked by the Blackburns and he turned tail and ran.
I see. Pity for him. This is a blatant breach of contract.
Beg pardon?
My name is D.W. Shaw. I am the owner and operator of Vespuccia Petrol. Last week, I met with Mr. Ackerman in Rosewater to discuss a business proposition. I engaged his services to track down Dr. Bennett Clark and bring him to me. A few days ago, I received a letter informing me he was on his way here along with the team he had assembled. He seemed confident you had found a significant lead as to Clark's whereabouts. But now... you tell me he has abandoned your group and the assignment. This puts me in a rather awkward position, but perhaps all is not lost. You've come this far. I see no reason why you can't finish what Mr. Ackerman started.
We came here looking for Dr. Clark's missing fortune. You mean the man himself was the target all along?
Missing fortune? What missing fortune?
Jake said Dr. Clark left behind a bunch of money when he disappeared.
I see. I haven't a clue why he chose to mislead you. Perhaps he felt a treasure hunt would be more enticing.
He certainly did have a flair for the dramatic.
A risk of hiring a stage entertainer. But the truth would have had to come out eventually. My agreement with him was quite clear. 25,000 crowns in exchange for bringing me Dr. Clark. The same agreement applies to the three of you.
So you're telling me Clark's still alive?
Alive, and ironically, somewhere in El Presidio. What exactly was this lead you found?
Right before he disappeared, Dr. Clark was invited to stay at the Jolly Good Club.
Ah, yes, I know it. Quite exclusive. I myself have never set foot inside. You intend to search for him there?
Seems the best option.
Very good. You'll find the club on Cedar Avenue between Gull and Hare Street. In the meantime, I will ensure your stay here is comfortable. I've reserved rooms at the Presidio Hotel on the other side of town. You must be exhausted. I'll have Timothy summon a coach. Enjoy your rest. Should you need to speak with me again, you may return here. Good night to you.
I can't remember the last time I slept in such a comfortable bed.
Neither can I.
So what's our plan for tonight?
To see what we can find out at the Jolly Good Club. Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
What do you suppose Shaw's interest in Dr. Clark is?
Could be anything, really. But I'm guessing it has to do with making her money.
Sorry about Jake. You must be real busted up about it.
I was, at first. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how obvious it should have been he was full of hot air. Having me do all the shooting, never a shred of proof to back up his stories. I thought working for him was the first stepping stone on some longer path. I thought I had so much to learn from him. Guess he taught me a lesson in the end, all right.
Poor Phil. I really miss the guy.
Me too. It's not the same without him. I really hope things don't fall apart for his revolution.
Me too. But that's not really up to us. Miss Johnson really went through it with us. Hope she'll be okay.
I think she will be. At the very least, she's got a new dog friend to keep her company.
It's not that cold out, but a fire still feels nice. Hey, Nadine. What do you suppose Shaw's reason for wanting Clark is?
An excellent question. My guess would be to hire him, though I've no idea for what.
I can't understand how Jake could just run off like that.
I can't either. I thought he was supposed to be a legendary hero.
That's what he wanted everyone to believe.
It's kind of sad. I wonder if he believed it himself.
I can't believe Phil is gone.
I know. I miss him too. I feel awful that I couldn't save him. I truly tried everything I could.
I know you did. Don't go beating yourself up. Think of it this way. The last thing he saw was the kind, compassionate face of someone who cared about him, trying to help. That's more than a lot of folks get at the end.
Yes, I know. I think the best way we can honor Phil's memory is to finish what we came here to do.
You're absolutely right. Do you suppose Miss Johnson will be okay?
She's a very strong person, but she is quite expert at hiding her feelings. More gets to her than she lets on.
You think?
I know. You don't think she's really cold and heartless, do you? She's just careful about who she lets in. It's hard to trust when you've been burned too many times.
I suppose I can relate. Good evening, sir.
Hello. What can I do for you?
Are you familiar with the Jolly Good Club?
Sure. I've heard of it. Real fancy place in the north part of town. Never been inside. That sort of place ain't for people like me. No disrespect, but I doubt they let you in either.
What are you working on up there?
Just fixing the hotel sign. New management's looking to spruce the place up. Promised me a new tool set, too. Can't complain.
Something wrong with your current tools?
They're old and rusty. Need a replacing years ago. But hey, better late than never, huh? I'm most looking forward to a new drill. Old one could hardly make a hole in a bar of soap.
Thanks for the chat. I'll let you get back to work.
Evening to you.
We are on Cedar Avenue. Excuse me?
Yes?
Do you know anything about the Jolly Good Club?
Only that I could work 1,000 years and still not have enough money to be a member.
The park's closed at night. This fancy building must be the Jolly Good Club.
May I help you?
Good evening. I was hoping you could tell me if Dr. Bennett Clark was here.
I'm afraid, madam, that I'm unable to provide information of that sort.
Don't suppose I could come inside and look?
Absolutely not. This is a members-only club.
And how does one become a member?
One must meet certain requirements. Quite frankly, you do not. Good evening.
So much for the direct approach.
There must be a way to get in.
Lots going on back here.
All the work is kept tucked away, out of sight of the members. One of these people might know a way to get inside the club.
Excuse me, ma'am?
What you want?
I was hoping to ask you some questions.
No English, sorry.
Danny, think you might help me out here?
你好，律师。
Oh, hello, young man. I didn't realize you were friends with this woman. Did you want something?
Do you work at this club?
I wash all the bedding and linens. Why do you ask?
We're trying to get inside.
Good luck. This club is for rich white men only.
We don't want to join. We just need a quick look around.
Ah, well, now that's different. I suppose I could help you with that, sneak you in through the employee door. But first, I will ask you a small favor.
What do you have in mind?
I have a contract with some people, and I'd like to get out of it.
What sort of people?
You don't live here, do you?
I used to when I was younger.
Then you know exactly what kind of people I mean.
Right. I'm not sure what we can do, but we could try. Who's your contract with?
The Society of Open Arms.
And what's your name?
Mei Hui.
Okay. I'll see what we can do.
Thank you, young man. Good luck.
Well?
She can help us, but we need to do her a favor first. We need to get to Chinatown, Enebro Square Road between Finch and Gull. I'll explain everything on the way.
Looks like I found Chinatown. Excuse me?
Wait your turn! Can't you see I'm helping someone already?
Geez, sorry. He seems to have a very complicated order. I'm guessing this is where all the medicines and herbs are stored. At least this one's partly in English.
Yeah, what is it?
Jimmy?
Danny? What are you doing back here?
You two know each other?
It's been a long time.
You're telling me?
Can we come in? We need to speak to whoever's in charge.
You can, sure. Your friends are a different story.
I take full responsibility for them. They're trustworthy.
All right. I'll take your word. Come on in. We've got a lot of catching up to do.
Pardon me, could we have a word?
Sure. Give us a minute, Danny.
I want to talk about your contract with Mei Hui.
The laundress who works at that fancy club?
The very same. She wants out.
So she sent Danny and his friends to negotiate? That's strange. You make a deal with her or something?
We're trying to get inside the Jolly Good Club. She told us she could sneak us in if we got her out of her contract.
I see. Well, miracles do happen. If you intend to negotiate the terms of her contract on her behalf, I need you to understand exactly what you're agreeing to.
Go on.
Under Mei Hui's current deal, she donates 10% of her earnings to the club. In exchange, she gets certain benefits. She's already requested to be released from her contract. Okay, we said. We're reasonable people. All we asked was that she make a simple delivery for us first. She refused. Now you're making the same request. Okay, but precious time has been wasted here. The price has gone up. Now it's 2 jobs.
What kinds of jobs exactly?
Both still simple. The delivery is one. But first, I need you to run another errand. I have this valuable timepiece, unfortunately damaged and in need of repair. Take care of that, then we can discuss the delivery.
What happened to this watch?
A little disagreement. Someone got upset and threw it against the door over there. It smashed open. I collected all the pieces I could.
Where am I supposed to get this watch repaired?
There's a pawn shop at the wharf. Lady who runs it fixes things too.
Okay, thanks for answering my questions.
My pleasure.
There's a hole between the floorboards. It seems to be full of mouse poop. Yuck. Hey, there's a little gear stuck between the floorboards. Must be from the broken watch. Damn, can't reach in there with my fingers.
Welcome back, Miss Leger.
Would you mind if I borrowed this rock?
It's a lodestone, highly magnetic. You have to imagine the invisible lines of power radiating out all around it. I'll trust it's for a good purpose. Just be sure to return it.
I promise I'll hand it back to you, along with Dr. Clark. Carefully now. Got it. I'll put it with the other loose gears. An attorney's office. I'll be sure to stay far away. The local exchange for the hard up and down on their luck.
Whoa! This place is packed with stuff.
Yes, can I help you?
I was wondering if you could have a look at this watch. It needs repair.
Where did you get this?
Does it matter?
Yes. I've seen this watch before. Someone from the Tong gave it to you, didn't they?
The what?
That place in Chinatown, the Open Arms Society, or whatever they call themselves. I already told them I wasn't interested in their business. They can send as many proxies as they like. It's not gonna change my mind.
So you won't fix this watch?
Nope.
So what am I supposed to do?
My advice would be to stop dealing with those people. But if you're hellbent, I could sell you a repair kit and you can do it yourself.
All right, how much for the repair kit?
You're gonna do it, huh? 4 crowns. Your funeral.
Sold.
Here you are. Pleasure doing business. And I'm in no way responsible for whatever happens next. Just to be clear.
Appreciate the help.
Sure.
A collection of rather creepy dolls. I hate the way their eyes seem to follow me. Okay, this doesn't look too tough. Just have to place the right gears in the right spots. Ha! It works. I got your watch fixed.
Good job. Wait here a minute.
Feeling back at home yet?
More than I'd like to, frankly.
Here you are. Deliver this to the building at Gull Street between Harbor and Iglesia. Do not open this box under any circumstances. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Come back here once you've finished. And remember, time is of the essence. Don't dawdle.
Do either of you have a strange feeling about this delivery?
I think whatever's inside this box is probably bad news.
I'm sure you're right about that.
So what do we do?
Deliver it, I guess. Jimmy said not to open it, and I don't think we want to cross these guys.
Oh, I don't like this.
Well now, what have we here?
Yes?
Special delivery. I've brought you a package.
Who sent it?
No return address. We're just the messengers.
Odd. Leave it on top of the crate to your left.
That's that, I guess.
That was a lot easier than I was expecting.
Won't hear me complaining. Pardon me, could we have a word?
Sure. Give us a minute, Danny.
We delivered the package.
Excellent. Maybe now those smug union bastards will learn their lesson. Here, take this to Mei Hui. It's a letter releasing her from her contract with us.
Thanks.
Say, Jimmy, what was in that box anyway?
Oh, don't worry about that. Let's just say tonight's union meeting is going to start with a bang.
I knew there was something suspicious about that package.
Sounds like we just delivered the labor union a bomb.
Let's get back there and warn them before it's too late.
Yes? What is it?
That box you just got? You need to get rid of it. It's dangerous.
What?
Throw it in the bay or off a cliff or something. Whatever you do, don't open it.
Just who are you, anyway?
A concerned citizen. Trust me on this, okay?
Well, thanks for the warning.
You think they'll listen?
Let's make tracks in case they don't. Here you are, ma'am.
You're no longer in debt to the Society of Open Arms.
Oh, is it true? Thank you so much. I had a feeling I could count on you.
So, about getting inside?
Yes, of course. I can sneak you in on my laundry cart. But it's not big enough to fit all three of you.
I think my friend Harley will be the one going in then.
Yeah. Fine. I take her through the door that leads to the club library. I think there's a presentation tonight, so most of the men will be distracted. Your friend should be able to sneak around undisturbed. But make sure she doesn't get caught. And if she does, you never met me.
Understood. Thanks for your help, ma'am. Okay, Harley, you're going in. Just climb inside the laundry cart.
This had better be worth it. Now to find Clark. The letter said he'd be staying in this L person's suite. So who and where is that? Various pharaohtypes of rich people enjoying themselves. Suppose they need to prove how happy they are. I imagine most of the folks in here are great admirers of Mr. Atwood. After all, he always did make a point of standing up for the great big rich guy. A pharaohtype showing a bunch of men outside the club. The plaque says opening day. A nondescript landscape, not very well executed. A painting of a cafe, looks like somewhere in Europe. There's various exhibits in these cases, mostly old coins and trinkets brought back from who knows where. A stuffed bird. The plaque says it's called a dodo. How odd. Volumes and volumes of books. Nothing particularly noteworthy, though. Display cases with different exhibits. Haven't got time or inclination to study them. I wonder how long it would take to read every one of these books, and if any of them are worth it. Edgar Whitmire, founder of the Jolly Good Club. There's a plaque above all those portraits that says In Memoriam. Seems these are former club members. This club's membership has felled many an antlered beast. Hey, that's Miss Lee.
As you see, gentlemen, my analysis was correct. The region is absolutely ideal for the formation and preservation of fossils. Though I have so far recovered only a small part of what I believe still lies out there, I was able to partially reconstruct the dinosaur skeleton you see before you. Quite a fearsome beast, isn't he? This ancient lizard, which I have christened the Eremosaurus, probably roamed the lands near the San Bernardo Valley over 72 million years ago.
This is fascinating, but I'd better get a move on. Stern-looking fellow. He's got a medal on his chest with 4 stars on it. General Lancaster Bevins, 1770 to 1832. That. Mrs. Edgar Whitmire. I bet she's never set foot in this place either. Ham. Archie. Aurum Star members. Where have I heard that before? He looks bored, but I would be too if I had to stand perfectly still for that long. Jovial-looking fellow. Either that or he's got a secret. I've never understood men who grow beards without mustaches. This man's got a vacant expression. Wonder what he was thinking about. What a sourpuss. I don't think I'd like to get on his bad side. Why is that man pointing at a skull? Does he think it makes him look mysterious? Kit. Warm air is coming from the grate. They must have that indoor steam heating I've read about. Chan. Lige. Barnabas Jordan, 1801 to 1845. Willie. Ned. Finny. Sigh. We've only been in El Presidio one day and I already miss the country. Perhaps this ice pick will be of service. Willie. I think this is the room I'm looking for. Yes, there's the safe. Nothing. This desk hasn't been used in a while. Completely empty. I found a crumpled note. Better take it. General Laporte, as per your request, we have provided your suite with a safe. The combination is 12 right, 9 left, 5 right. Please share this information only with those you trust. Management. Fantastic. All right, let's see what we've got here. Some kind of wooden card? Better hang on to it. And another journal, but not Clark's. Uh-oh, sounds like the presentation's wrapping up. I'd better make myself scarce.
And who might you be?
Oh, just one of the cleaners. It's my first night, so I was getting a feel for the place.
I'm afraid I don't believe you. This is a members-only club, and you clearly aren't a member. Therefore, I can only assume that you must have broken in. Your intent was to steal something, I suppose?
I'm no thief. My hands are empty.
And your pockets?
Nothing I didn't bring in with me.
You're quite clever. Very well, you can go. Let it not be said that General Laporte can't be merciful. But if I ever see you in here again, I won't be so lenient. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Were you successful?
I think so, but let's get out of here. Now, let's see what's in this diary I found. Clark's not at the club anymore, but I found out who invited him to El Presidio, an army general named Laporte. He's got Clark on Gannett Island working on some secret operation called Project Rosewater.
Project Rosewater?
No idea what it is, but it's the whole reason Laporte brought Clark here.
Wait a minute. Remember those crates on the army supply wagon? The ones marked Rosewater? They weren't going to the town of Rosewater. They must have been coming here for Project Rosewater.
Of course. Fort Beaumont was just a waypoint. It sure seemed like a lot of stuff for one little outpost in the middle of nowhere.
So, the night deliveries, the Orambas.
Something big is going on here. We need to have a talk with Shaw.
Miss Leger, have you any news?
Clark's been moved to Gannett Island.
Gannett Island? But there's nothing there, just a crumbling fort and lighthouse.
Have you heard of an army general named Laporte? Or something called Project Rosewater?
Neither. Go on.
Then does that mean you're not aware what sort of trouble you're stirring up? This quest has run us afoul of some very dangerous people. If you expect us to get Clark for you, I want to know why you want him so badly.
Very well. Imagine airships, engines, furnaces, powered not by petroleum and coal, but by ethericity, an infinitely renewable energy source that comes from the sky itself, clean, efficient, and economical.
But you run an oil company.
I run an energy company, Miss Leger. Energy takes many forms. With Dr. Clark in my employ, we can lay the groundwork now for a pivot from oil to ethericity. Once the benefits become apparent, the market will clamour for clean, safe, etheric energy. And only one company will be equipped to meet that demand on day one. Mine.
What about the ban?
Bans are imposed by governments, and governments change, Miss Leger. Not everyone supports Leroy's technophobic policies. The Labourites are barely hanging on. It's not just Atwood's trade party that would like to see etheric advancement back on the table. Royalists, justice, pioneers, even the Christian Union would all get on board. In these fractious times, ethericity has the potential to be a great uniter. Change is just over the horizon. But enough politics. You know where Clark is. Go get him. Best of luck. Yeah, before you go, my lodestone.
Oh, sure. Here.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening to you.
That boat yours?
Sure is. Easier to fish during the day, but sometimes I take folks for a sail. The price is right, of course.
And what is the right price for a ride?
Depends. A cruise around the bay will run you 20 crowns a head. If you had something specific in mind, we can negotiate.
How much to go to Gannet Island?
Oh, hell. There's no amount of money could get me to set foot on that island.
Why not?
It's cursed. Haunted by demonic spirits.
Come on, really?
I've seen them with my own eyes. Horrid specters floating around the place, ready to kill anyone who gets too close. When they're out dancing in the sky at night, you can feel their evil influence in the air, too. Hot shivers going down the back of your neck. If you know what's good for you, you'll get any idea going out there out of your head.
Look, we really need to get to that island.
Good luck to you, then. Nobody in their right mind will take you there.
You said no amount of money could get you to set foot on the island. What if you just dropped us off?
You're dead set on going, aren't you?
I thought I'd made that clear.
All right. If you have such disregard for your life, there's nothing I can do about it. But I won't take you there for any less than 60 crowns.
Damn.
Bet that's made you change your mind, eh?
Not quite. We'll come back when we've got the money. Thanks for the chat. Have a good night.
See you around.
What do you need?
I have something to sell.
Okay, what?
How much is this old Spanish doubloon worth?
Where did you find this?
Buried in the desert, if you can believe it.
Not bad. I can give you 45 crowns for it.
Sounds good to me. Appreciate the help.
Sure.
Nothing fancy, but it looks seaworthy. Good evening.
Evening to you.
You drive a hard bargain, but we're not giving up. Here's the money.
All right. The minute I drop you off, I'm gone.
How are we supposed to get back?
I'll come back for you. At dawn. If the ghosts haven't killed you before then, that is.
We'll take our chances. Let's go. Owing to the island's reputation as the accursed haunt of assorted malignant spooks and spirits, it has cost us a comely copper to induce one of the credulous locals to transport us here. I do have to admit that this place presents a rather eerie aspect. It's easy enough to imagine ghosts drifting along the ramparts of the ruined fort, or floating among the after images of the lighthouse beam. But there's only one ghost I'm interested in finding here.
Remember, I'll be back at sunrise. Then I'm heading home whether you're on my boat or not.
Look, There's smoke coming from the chimney of that cabin.
I guess this island isn't all that abandoned. Stay alert. Hello? Anyone home? No one here. We can do some prowling. Locked. Because of course it is. Shh. Not another step. There's a guard. Stay quiet. Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into. Quite an elaborate contraption. Massive doors. Do they lead underground? Hey, Danny?
Yes, Harley.
Any ideas for getting us past that guard?
Actually, yes. He doesn't look too tough. I could probably scare him off with a little gunplay. Only trouble is, I'm out of bullets.
Well, it's a long shot, but I'll see if we can find any on this rock. Pretty spooky place, this island.
I'll say. I can see why people think it's haunted.
You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
I don't know, but we should be careful. Make sure you don't whistle or anything, okay?
What? Why not?
Just trust me.
Feels mostly full. Feels nearly full. I'll just take a little bit. Nearly empty. Running pretty low. Hey, there's something rattling around in here. A small silver key. I'll just hang on to it. Here we are. It's empty, except for a couple of bullets. I'll take those. Here, I found you some bullets.
Great. Shall we go ahead with the plan?
Yeah, sounds great. Let's run them off.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Nice job, Danny. Now to get those doors open. Somehow. Odd device. Looks like it's meant to be spoken into. It's a small slot. Looks like something flat and rectangular would fit. It fits.
That's something.
This is getting stranger by the minute.
You're telling me. Better take this card back. Don't want to be stuck down there. All right, folks. I think this is it. Wherever this takes us, I have a feeling Dr. Clark will be there.
But will we be able to come back up once we find him?
I sure hope so.
Maybe one of us should stay up here, just in case.
There's no telling what we'll find down there. We should all stick together.
Okay, let's go then.
What in the ether is this place?
It seems that was a one-way ride.
Damn, I knew one of us should have stayed up there.
So now we're looking for two things. Clark and the exit.
What? We weren't expecting, who are you?
We're here to see Dr. Clark. Are you him?
Me? Don't I wish? I'm just one of his assistants.
I see. Could you take us to him?
Hang on. You still haven't said why you're here.
We've come on General Laporte's orders.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Right, come with me.
Goodness, this place is really something.
I'm glad you think so.
What's that big glowing thing down there?
That's our etheric generator. Powers most everything down here. You get used to the noise. Follow me, please. I'll just be a moment.
Do you think he believes us?
I think we're okay so far. Just follow my lead.
I suppose the deception was necessary. I hope we don't come to regret it.
I suppose General Laporte's curiosity was too much for him to bear. I told him he could come for a demonstration next week. Instead, he sends 3 proxies. I will never understand that man's rationale. But you're here now, so you may as well see what we've got. I'm Dr. Bennett Clark, by the way. And you are?
I'm Miss Leger. This is Miss Redbird and Mr. Luo. We are safety inspectors here to make sure everything is running smoothly in advance of the General's arrival.
Oh, the General is suddenly concerned about safety. Well, I suppose that's a refreshing change. All right, let's go have a look at Project Rosewater. I'm afraid the testing chamber only accommodates 4. One of you will have to stay out here with Joshua, but you may observe the test through the window. As I said, we weren't expecting anyone until next week. The prototype still needs refinement. Nevertheless, we have made a breakthrough.
Prototype of what, exactly?
You mean the General didn't tell you? Why am I not surprised? There on the tripod, the etheric pistol. The whole purpose and object of Project Rosewater. Juliet? Is the prototype ready for demonstration?
I believe so, Doctor. But who are we demonstrating it for?
Miss Leger and her companions, the team sent by General Laporte. Now, please, do us the honors.
Yes, Doctor.
Oh my.
Whoa.
We have managed to confine the chaotic etheric discharge to a very narrow, focused beam over a distance of up to 6 meters, without significant dissipation or redirection of energy, reaching nearly 68.2% efficiency. This results in complete vaporization of most organic targets, with only minimal atmospheric disturbances in the immediate vicinity. You might be feeling warmth, or a slight tingling sensation on your skin, and a change of pressure in your ears, perfectly harmless. Oh, and if you are experiencing any alteration to your color vision, I assure you that is also completely temporary.
I taste purple. Does anyone else taste purple?
There are sometimes minor synesthetic side effects. That too will pass. Of course, there is plenty of room for improvement in range, energy efficiency, fine-tuning of the beam's intensity and area of effect, user-friendliness and safety. But as proof of concept, this irrefutably demonstrates that the principle is sound and that it can be scaled up. The rest is iteration.
Well, thank you for that thorough explanation.
Now I'm afraid you must excuse me. I have some time-sensitive tasks I must attend to. If only I'd been forewarned of your arrival, I might have made arrangements. In any event, if you have questions, I or my assistants can answer them. Just be mindful not to touch anything.
That was really something.
So Laporte's got Clark developing etheric weapons for the military. This throws a wrench in Shaw's plans.
How horrible. Instead of something good to benefit humanity, ethericity is being harnessed to produce suffering and death. Perhaps Dr. Clark will be open to the idea of leaving this project for something less distasteful.
Perhaps, but I can't just ask him with his assistant right there. Maybe I can get her to leave the testing chamber so I can have a moment alone with Clark. Hey, can we talk?
Sure. What's on your mind?
How do you like working with Dr. Clark?
It has its moments, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't stressful. He gets wound up sometimes, which I understand. But other times he picks strange things to get cross about.
Like what?
Well, his biggest bugbear is food in the testing chamber. I made the mistake of taking my lunch in there once, and he just about had a conniption. Cleanliness is one thing, but this is a whole other level.
Okay, see you around.
Bye.
Some kind of little oven for heating food, I think. This thing is in dire need of repairs. Bars of Aurum. Lots of them. These tomatoes are thriving. Must be all the exposure to ethericity. Hey, Nadine. Think you can occupy Dr. Clark's attention for a few moments?
I can certainly try. Oh, Doctor, could I have a word?
Yes, what is it?
There. Now to watch the fireworks.
What? Miss Montgomery, what is the meaning of this? How many times have I said, no food in the testing chamber?
But I
don't want excuses. Clear it out. Put away the power cell. Done with testing today.
Yes, Dr. Clark.
apologize for that, Miss Leger, but I'm very particular about rules.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Can we talk?
I suppose so.
So, what's working with Dr. Clark like?
He's a brilliant man. I learn something new from him every day.
He seems short-tempered.
Well, yes, but that's just the genius mind, isn't it? No room left over for navigating social niceties.
I was blown away by that demonstration. Figuratively speaking, of course.
Huh. We've been working on it non-stop, but there are a lot of kinks to work out before it'll be field ready. For instance, we still can't get more than one shot out of each power cell. I suppose in an actual battlefield situation, you'd need to carry around a lot of cells and reload for every shot, like cannonballs. But the power cells are still very difficult to construct, so we only have a few prototypes. We have to recharge them constantly.
How long does it normally take to charge one of the power cells?
Around 6 hours.
Wow.
Wow is right. Joshua hooked one up to the etheric generator and discovered that it charged instantly. But Dr. Clark wasn't happy about it.
Why not?
He said it made the power cell unstable. But we didn't have to wait all day for the next trial, and Joshua was even able to get 2 shots out of that one. The overcharge effect is certainly something we should investigate later.
I appreciate the chat.
It's nice to have someone new to talk to.
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
Dr. Clark, there's something I need to tell you. We are not really safety inspectors.
What? Who are you then?
Some folks who are hired by D.W. Shaw to come find you.
The head of Vespuccia Petrol.
The very same.
What does she want with me?
She wants you to help her company pivot from oil to ethericity.
How does she intend to circumvent the ban?
She seems to think it'll be lifted soon. Or that she can influence things in that direction.
So she would have me work for VP to generate etheric energy for widespread use?
As an alternative power source, yes. It might even replace coal and oil someday.
Well, that's certainly more appealing than weaponry. But extreme arrangements have been made to develop this project in secret, and at considerable expense, I'm sure. It's not the sort of thing one can just walk away from.
If it's Laporte you're afraid of, I'm sure Shaw can protect you.
Can she? The General is a powerful man. I'm not willing to risk getting on his bad side.
So you're dead set on staying here? You won't consider Shaw's offer?
I admit it's enticing, but is it worth the risk?
I'm not so sure Laporte is acting in his capacity as a military general with the full backing and authority of the Vespuccian government here. We've seen plenty of things that don't add up. The clandestine nighttime shipments, the hired private agents, the hidden underground base, all the convoluted arrangements here, the fact that all this research is still technically illegal. I think this is all a side gig. Some kind of secret conspiracy running on misappropriated funds. Don't you see? That means he doesn't have power over you. You could expose everything that's going on here. You'd have leverage over him.
I think that means he could send someone to murder me to keep me quiet, and not lose a wink of sleep over it. That's not exactly convincing me to leave.
If nothing else, don't you want to get back into the world again?
Perhaps, but not badly enough to defy the Vespuccian military.
Laporte doesn't have to know anything about this. We could fake your death somehow and get you away.
Miss Leger, let's not be ridiculous.
What inspired you to become a scientist?
Trite as it may sound, I wanted to make the world better. I had a fortunate birth. My parents were able to pay for my studies in Paris, which is where I earned my doctorate in physics. But even as a boy, I still saw plenty of terrible things going on around me. Others seemed not to see, but I did. Upon my return to Vespuccia, I began teaching and conducting independent research. My only explicit goal was to make some sort of discovery or development that would serve the advancement of mankind. I would like to believe I've achieved that.
Just how did you come to discover the existence of ethericity?
Now that's a story. When I was a boy, I read about the ancient Greeks and their studies of the heavens. Certain texts made obscure references to observations of energy subsisting in the atmosphere, something entirely different from electricity. The idea seized my imagination and sparked my passion for the pursuit of ethericity. I developed an instrument that I called the aetherometer in order to probe the atmospheric potential. Imagine my delight when I discovered that ethericity was in fact real. Unfortunately, the aetherometer has been appropriated by so-called spiritualists who believe they can use it to talk with the dead.
I'd like to know your perspective on the Lamplight City Expo incident.
That was a dark day. Everything I worked for came crashing down in a matter of seconds. Being maligned and ostracized was bad enough, but I can still hear the screams of those 15 poor souls. If anything good can be said to have come from that horrible event, it taught me that nothing in this life is guaranteed.
Why did you agree to work on this project?
Why? I just experienced the worst disaster of my life. My work was first ridiculed and then outlawed, and I was exiled to a barren wasteland. The only prospect I could see was to leave the country and start everything over. But then I received General Laporte's offer. I could continue my work in safety and solitude. Everything I needed would be provided. No investors, no reporters, no loonies, no distractions. I'm certain anyone in my position would have jumped at the opportunity.
Who came up with Project Rosewater?
My understanding is that this work is for the benefit of the Vespuccian army. General Laporte is in charge of the project. Everything goes through him. Other than the facility guards, I've had contact with no one else.
How much longer until Project Rosewater is finished?
We're nearing the end of this phase. If all goes well, we should have a stable, fully functioning prototype by the end of the year.
What exactly is the goal of this project?
Well, once the etheric pistol is complete, we'll begin experimenting with larger caliber weapons.
Etheric rifles?
Yes, and whatever else the General sees fit to pursue.
Where does it stop?
You'd have to ask him that question.
How did this project get the name Rosewater?
My idea. Sentimental, really. I suppose I had gotten attached to my dry and dusty little desert lab. After all, Rosewater was my refuge when I lost everything else. I just made an offhand comment to that effect one day while discussing arrangements with the General. And he said, "Well, in that case, why don't you bring Rosewater with you?" When I found out he made that the official title of the project, it made me smile, I'll admit.
Just how long have you been down in this facility?
8 months. We've made extraordinary progress, as you can see. I admit, I had some misgivings when I first learned what would be required of us, but it turns out the isolation has done wonders for our productivity.
So who built this whole underground complex anyway? I'm guessing it wasn't always a secret ethericity lab.
I'm not entirely sure. Apart from the additional equipment I specified, everything was already prepared for us when I arrived in El Presidio. General Laporte isn't exactly forthcoming with information he considers irrelevant.
Do you know much about General Laporte?
Not a great deal, no. I only met him when he summoned me to El Presidio. We speak occasionally, but only about professional matters. Just as well, I suppose. His interests don't align particularly well with mine.
So your relationship is purely professional?
It's an acquaintanceship at best.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
Can we talk?
I suppose so.
Just how long have you been working down here?
Good question. It's difficult keeping track of time. We're in September, right?
November, actually.
Oh, then it's been longer than I thought. We came down here in March.
What sparked your interest in etheric research?
I followed Dr. Clark's career from the early days. He was one of the first to begin advancing etheric theory with practical experiments. Not only that, he was getting results. After I graduated from university, I sent him my thesis on the effects of ethericity on plants and animals. I guess that made me one of the few practical researchers out there, too. He wrote back immediately with an offer of employment.
How do you keep from getting bored?
The work is pretty all-consuming, and we don't have much of a social scene down here. Dr. Clark is kind enough to lend us his books to pass the quiet hours.
Do you know who built this place?
I suppose this is an old army base, but Clark's had it fitted with some really state-of-the-art equipment. We're lucky to be so well-resourced.
What was that about a faster way to charge the power cells?
Joshua figured out that hooking the power cell to the etheric generator charged it instantly, but Dr. Clark discouraged it because it makes the power cell unstable.
Between you and me, doesn't it concern you that ethericity is being weaponized?
Not at all. It's a powerful energy source, and this is one of many practical applications.
Sure, but isn't it better to use it for less destructive purposes?
We live in a dangerous world, and these are uncertain times. Other nations probably have their own etheric weaponry development programs underway. If we didn't pursue this research, we'd be falling behind. A new weapon is most useful as a deterrent. Having it in your back pocket means everyone else thinks twice before firing on you. I know Dr. Clark's had some moral reservations about the military applications of ethericity, but he's a professional through and through.
Can you tell me anything about General Laporte?
Not really. I know he's the one overseeing this project, but I've never had the opportunity to speak with him.
I appreciate the chat.
It's nice to have someone new to talk to.
Hey, can we talk?
Sure. What's on your mind?
Have you been down here long?
Oh, about 7 months, I think. Without any sunlight, you really lose all sense of time. Sometimes it feels like decades.
No sunlight? You mean you never go outside?
No, of course not. Is this some kind of test? The terms were made very clear when we signed onto this project. We don't break protocol. I do really miss the sun, though. Sometimes I feel like a mushroom down here.
How did you become interested in etheric research?
I was already a researcher when I met Dr. Clark, but my field was chemistry. I had dabbled some with etheric experiments after hearing about Clark's research. When I saw him at the Lamplight City Expo, I knew I wanted to work with him, despite what happened. After the dust settled, I approached him about taking me on as an assistant. I got the feeling he was just surprised to still have any support.
Never would have dreamed there was a whole secret facility hidden under this rock in the middle of the bay. Who built it, anyway?
The military, I guess. Had to be someone with very deep pockets. Everything was already in place before they moved us in.
Don't you ever get bored here?
Sure, all the time. We've got books, but I've read them all. This is my 3rd time through this one. At least this phase of the project's near completion. Maybe we'll get some time up top before the next one.
What are your thoughts on Project Rosewater?
Honestly, I try not to think about it too much. We're doing important scientific research. I can't deny that. Just because our focus is on weapons doesn't mean our results can't be used for other applications.
Know anything about General Laporte?
I saw him once, right at the start of the project. Didn't talk to him. He seemed kind of intense. He's the one running this show, as far as I can tell. Beyond that, the man's a total mystery.
Okay, see you around.
Bye.
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
You'd prefer your research be used to find new ways to kill people?
No, but
Look, I understand. You suffered a terrible setback after the expo. I'm sure it must have been hard. You probably felt like nobody would ever take you seriously again.
You have no idea.
I do know that if I were in your shoes, I'd have probably grabbed onto any lifeline. But I can tell your heart's not really in it, especially knowing what it is you're building.
Yes, well...
So you're gonna squander this opportunity to do some real good in the world because you're afraid of a stuffy old general?
You're right, Miss Leger. This isn't about me. This is about humanity. I'll come with you. But... oh goodness. How shall we... We need to do this discreetly. My assistants can't know what's going on. I'm going to my quarters to settle some things. Excuse me.
You certainly have a way with words, Harley.
That's why I try and get paid for them. So this is Project Rosewater. Let's hope nobody notices this is missing. The lab assistant's desk. She's written some notes, but I have no idea what they mean. Locked, naturally. He's asleep. Best keep it that way. It's always good to have a spare hairpin. Got it. I'm sure they won't miss just one power cell. Or maybe they will. Either way, I've got one now. A couple of wires from that food heating device. This seems like a good place to attach the wires. Here we go. Hope this works. Wow, it charged up almost instantly. Locked and loaded.
Ah, hello. I'm just leaving a note for my assistants.
Explaining why you're giving them the slip?
I feel I owe it to them.
Might I borrow your screwdriver, Dr. Clark?
By all means.
Dr. Clark?
Yes, what is it?
So how do we make our escape without alerting your assistants?
First things first. We need to call the elevator so we have a way out. But we also need to find a way to disable the communications relay. Otherwise, the alarm will be raised and they'll catch us in no time.
Could you explain this communications relay thing?
Of course. Next to the elevator, there's a device we can use to contact the person standing guard upstairs. It's mainly for emergency use. If the guard doesn't respond after a time, the wires relay the signal to Laporte's office.
So we need to disable it to keep Laporte from suspecting anything.
Precisely.
So how can we call the elevator?
Good question. It requires a 4-digit code. To my knowledge, the only people who know it are General Laporte and the guard upstairs.
Too bad I didn't think to ask what it was before getting rid of him.
Without that code, we are stuck.
I'll figure something out. Something I've been wondering about. When we first started looking for you, the idea was floated, let's say, that you had a stash somewhere of cash left over from investments in your research that had to be concealed once the work became illegal. Is there any truth to that notion?
You're asking me to tell you if I have a secret hidden fortune.
Well, I don't expect you to tell me where or hand it over or anything. I'm just burning to know if there was really anything to the rumor at all, or if it was all just dust and fairy tales.
What do you think?
Call me a romantic, but I just have a feeling there's more to this story. You strike me as a man who might have some tricks up his sleeve, and 1 or 2 secrets. Did you know that a group of ethericity worshippers flocked to your old lab and set up a commune there?
My lab in Rosewater?
Yup. We met them when we went there looking for clues as to your whereabouts. They picked everything clean. Built a kind of museum to you and your work.
I had no idea, but my work always attracted strange sorts. Curious gawkers would show up now and again, hoping to catch a glimpse of something spectacular, or the angry bereaved, threatening vengeance for the victims of the disaster. It's been quite a relief not having to worry about all that down here.
That commune by your lab, they're from a religious movement calling themselves the Luminarians. They believe a whole bunch of gobbledygook about glowing people who live in the ether, and people who die from ethericity being really lucky because they go to etheric heaven or something, and they like to paint shadows and butterflies all over everything for some reason. They also think you're some sort of saint or prophet, and there's a mural with a painting of you looking like you're going through this kind of portal in space and talking to some glowy angel alien creatures.
Wow.
Well, it may come to you as a bit of good news that your old lab won't be attracting any more strange folk.
Oh no?
We, kinda blew it up.
What? Why did you do that?
It was just necessary in order to find the information we needed to locate you. It's kinda complicated. But you weren't planning on ever going back there, right?
No, I suppose I wasn't. That was a complicated chapter in my life. Probably for the best it's gone and done with.
I'll let you get back to it.
Thank you.
There's no way to open it manually. It's controlled by that lever. There we go. There! That was it. I figured out the code. The elevator's ready to be called.
Wonderful. Let's be going then.
Not just yet. I need to take care of the communications relay.
The what?
That contraption on the wall there. Clark said we need to disable it before we leave. Stand back. I'm taking this thing out.
Whoa!
I thought the plan was to do this discreetly.
Desperate times and all that. Now come on, let's get out of here.
You're taking the prototype, I see. Wait, where did you get a charged power cell? We only charged one up, and we used it in the demonstration.
I hooked this one up to the etheric generator.
You what? That's incredibly dangerous. That kind of unfiltered surge would leave the power cell completely unstable. Unless it's discharged within the next, 20 minutes. It will explode.
Oh, we'll have to worry about that later. Let's get back topside before your assistants figure out what's going on.
If that power cell starts glowing white, you had better let me know quick.
After you, Doctor.
Hold it right there.
Shouldn't you be cowering under your bed?
Shut up. Hand over your weapons and come with us. There's someone wants to see you.
Taking some air, Dr. Clark? Kindly stand over there if you would. You three, up against the wall.
She had this funny pistol on her.
Ah, there it is. Can't let this fall into the wrong hands, can we? Now, have you got anything to say for yourself?
Only this. Fuck you.
I should have expected no better from the likes of you. You thieves are all the same.
We are not thieves.
No? You raided my supply wagon, broke into my private room, took my key card from my safe, and stole my etheric pistol. If you're not thieves, you should consider taking it up. You're naturals.
Don't turn this around on us. You're clearly the villain here.
Oh, is that what you think? It's clear to me you've no idea what you've stepped into. So, who put you up to this?
You think I'm gonna tell you?
Perhaps there is honor among thieves. We've chatted long enough.
General, what are you doing?
Conducting my own test, Doctor. It's time to see if your prototype really works.
Not so fast, Laporte. I would strongly advise you not to fire that pistol.
And just who in blazes are you?
Timothy King, representing D.W. Shaw and Vespuccia Petrol.
Why have you come to this little summit?
Miss Leger and her companions were charged with delivering Dr. Clark to my employer. They are the company's responsibility. I'll have to insist you stop interfering with our agents and let them go.
You can't be serious.
I am.
Boys, take care of this louse.
Stand down, pendejo!
Well, we've got all kinds coming out of the woodwork tonight. And who might you be?
Lieutenant General Marisol de la Vega. You must be General Laporte.
Seems you new Spanish revolutionaries are much cleverer than I was led to believe.
General Marquez assigned me to trace the suspicious shipments of Oram passing through Fort Beaumont. The trail led here. Where is General Marquez?
He didn't make it. He gave his life defending us from Laporte's hired thugs.
What? No, it cannot be.
I tried to save him, but he was too badly wounded. I'm so sorry.
Laporte sent the Blackburns to ambush us. He's responsible for Phil's death.
I gotta put a bullet in your head, Laporte.
Do so, and you'll receive one in kind. That goes for Mr. King as well.
It would seem we have reached an impasse.
I'm afraid the word impasse is not in my vocabulary.
You're playing with fire, General. Literally.
How do you mean?
The power cell in that pistol is unstable. It's about to blow unless it's discharged.
I see. Thank you for the warning. Suppose I should discharge it then.
What a jerk. People like that don't deserve warnings. Let's take that again. You shoot, and you'll just end up with 2 bullets in you.
I have faith in my men. They'll do what needs doing.
Aren't I entitled to some last words?
Yes, I suppose so. Go on, then.
I must say, of all the people I've met, you're the most unstable. Wouldn't you agree, Dr. Clark?
Oh, yes.
What?
General Laporte, there is something you need to know.
Now, Clark? Really?
I'm afraid it's quite important.
What then?
Well, you see, in my research, we uncovered some fascinating facts about the nature of ethericity. As it turns out, etheric particles, when agitated, enter a state of flux. They begin to dance, in a manner of speaking.
Yes, and...
Well, normally this isn't a problem, but if one were to, say, contain an excessive etheric charge in a small container, the particles would dance with an ever-growing intensity. They would continue this frantic movement until, after a certain amount of time, the harmonic resonances caused by the vibration of the particles would rapidly intensify, at which point, with no outlet, they would quite literally explode.
Are you saying you've discovered how to make an etheric bomb?
Yes. That would be more or less the long and short of it.
That is excellent news. Although this is a strange time to deliver it. We'll have to work it into the next phase of the project.
Well, as it turns out, I'm a bit ahead of schedule.
Oh?
Yes. An etheric bomb has already been developed.
Clark, you mad genius. I knew it was a wise decision to hire you. I can't wait to see this new weapon.
Oh dear.
Whoa! Hands up, Cobarde!
Nice going, Doctor.
That was... Oh my. I wasn't sure how much longer I could keep stalling.
Let's get off this rock, shall we?
Thanks for your help back there, Lieutenant General.
You are welcome.
For what it's worth, I'm sure General Marquez would be proud to know you're leading the revolution now.
News of his death will be a great blow to morale, but we will carry on the fight in his name. He was an inspiration to us all. At the very least, the revolution can make use of the Oram stored on the island, now that the man who conspired to steal it is dead.
Technically, that Oram was government money and belongs to the people of Vespuccia. But as a citizen of this country, I say, have it, with my blessing. Viva la revolucion!
Gracias. We have a difficult path ahead of us, but I have hope.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Miss Leger.
We're back, ma'am.
I assume everything has been taken care of?
All loose ends have been tied.
Splendid. Send them in. You've no idea how pleased I am at your success. It's good to finally make your acquaintance, Doctor. I am D.W. Shaw.
The pleasure is all mine, madame.
We have much to discuss. First, I must conclude my business with Miss Leger and her companions.
Of course.
You've been through a great deal. I cannot thank you enough.
All in a night's work.
Your modesty is admirable, Miss Leger. I won't keep you any longer. Here is your payment. Mr. Ackerman was promised 25,000, but considering all your trouble, I've increased it to 27. I'm sure you'll find it easier to divide.
Thank you, Mrs. Shaw.
Pleasure doing business with you. Before you go, I made some inquiries and learned a few rather compelling things about General Laporte. I could share the information if you like.
Go on, then.
It seems General Laporte was a staunch supporter of Mr. Atwood's trade party, quite vocal about his desire for the advancement of steam tech and etheric research. There were also rumours that he held some more controversial opinions regarding this country's sovereignty.
He was a separatist?
Apparently so.
You think Project Rosewater was meant to arm some kind of etheric revolution?
I am merely relaying the information I've learned. Anything beyond that is pure speculation. The only person with knowledge of Laporte's motives is the man himself.
And that information died with him. Well, with him gone and the prototype pistol destroyed, whatever plans he had can't come to fruition.
For now, yes. But I can tell you one thing about this world. It is rare that one accomplishes anything of note alone.
We should get back to our hotel. It's been a long night.
Indeed. Goodbye, Miss Leger. I hope you and your friends enjoy the rest of your time in El Presidio.
And thank you, Miss Leger. I appreciate your facilitating this new opportunity.
Best of luck to you, Dr. Clark. This was all very enlightening. So, what are you two planning on doing next?
I'm honestly not sure, but I think I will apply for a medical license after all. I may go back to the San Bernardo Valley, or I may stay here on the coast. It's something I'll have to discuss with Lola.
What about you, Danny?
I'm not really sure. Suppose it wouldn't be such a bad idea to visit my folks. It's been too long. After that, guess I've got to find a new line of work.
What about you, Harley?
Suppose I'll head back to Rosewater. I've got an article to write after all.
And I guess this is goodbye.
This is where we part ways, for now. But you know where to find me. And you can be damn sure I'll write back.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
Lola, Nadine was just talking about you.
Thought I felt my ears ringing. Anyways, I'm heading back to Rosewater. Wanted to see if you needed a lift.
We're heading back already?
Sure, but just for a few days. We'll set out again after that. Anywhere you like.
You ever for a moment consider just slowing down a tad?
Never. Say your farewells and let's go.
See you around, Danny. It was a real pleasure traveling with you.
So long.
Goodbye, and good luck.
I'm back.
Well, look what the cat dragged in.
Did I miss anything while I was gone?
Let's see. There was a dust devil by the saloon that nearly knocked Sheriff Gamble's hat off.
Front page news, then.
Seriously, though, I spoke with the leader of the Autumn. She gave me some good stuff. The article runs next week. What of your great adventure?
Concluded now. But I've got plenty of material for an article. Maybe even 5.
And you'd best get to it. Better to jot everything down while it's still fresh.
Right you are, boss. They say the end of every journey marks the beginning of another. If there's any truth to that, this writer hopes the next one is decidedly duller. My companions and I set out from Rosewater and traveled across the Vespuccian frontier, encountering bandits, rebels, visionaries, eccentrics, and many more friends and foes. We were led to believe that our quest was for Dr. Bennett Clark's missing fortune, but as it turned out, we were on the trail of the very man himself. The following is an account of that journey, with no detail spared, no fact left unrelated. And so at the journey's end, you may ask yourself, dear reader, what of the main players in this saga? Danny went home to a happy reunion with his parents. He says he is still unsure of what career path he'll choose, but he's hung up his pistols and retired from gunslinging. This writer is certain he will find success in whatever he puts his mind to. Nadine Redbird has begun the process of obtaining her medical license. She tells me she plans to convert Lola Johnson's wagon into a kind of mobile clinic, traveling the frontier helping those in need. It will be a welcome change from the usual traveling merchants hawking miracle cures. I can think of no one more qualified to dispense medical care. As for Miss Johnson, this new business venture will hopefully be more to her liking. At the very least, she now sets her own course, rather than bending to the whims of her clients. Miss Johnson truly opened up and offered me her friendship, for which I am ever grateful. I am truly happy that she and Nadine have found each other. I would be remiss to neglect mentioning our dearly departed friend. Phil Marquez was a great man. He was always true to himself, cared for those around him, and was just plain fun to be around. I will forever cherish the time I had with him, and I will carry his memory in my heart for the rest of my days. Of course, I must acknowledge the catalyst for this grand adventure, Gentleman Jake Ackerman, albeit with some trepidation. For while it's true that he set this whole adventure in motion, it is my unpleasant duty to inform you, dear readers, that Mr. Ackerman is nothing more than a fraud. Far from the brave and noble hero he purports to be, Jake showed his true colors in a moment of danger. We found ourselves ambushed by Blackburn agents. Jake disgracefully turned and fled, leaving us to face the ruthless barbarians on our own. I have not heard from him since, nor would I wish to. As far as I'm concerned, he could be dead in a ditch or drowned in cheap whiskey in some dark saloon corner. The sooner this fallen star fades from our collective memories, the better we can all sleep. As for Dr. Clark, he seems happy in his new employment at Vespuccia Petrol. I can only hope his contributions to Mrs. Shaw's enterprise offer greater balm to the restless, inventive mind than the manufacture of apocalyptic weaponry. That, dear readers, is the long and the short of it. This was an adventure unlike any other I've been on. I doubt any other will ever compare. Whew, my hand hurts. We'll see what Joni has to say about this in the morning. Well, what do you think?
You want my honest opinion?
Yes, of course I do.
It's good. Very good. It's great, actually. There's just no way on God's green earth we can print this.
Why not?
Secret underground laboratories, government conspiracies, special projects to develop etheric weapons. No one will believe a word of it. Not to mention you name some very powerful and important people who'd have me locked up for libel with a snap of a finger.
It's all true, Joni. I'm not in the habit of writing fiction.
Perhaps you should be.
Come again?
This story's got everything. Adventure, mad scientists, conspiracies, betrayals. Folk would pay through the nose to read this. If it were a novel.
Novel?
Sure. All you have to do is change the names, do a little narrative restructuring. You can even say it's based on actual events. That way we're off the hook if anyone's feathers get ruffled. What do you think?
A whole book, huh?
Trust me, I have a nose for these things. This one smells like a hit. You're sitting on a pile of aurum.
All right. I'll do it.
Excellent. Now all we need's a title.
That's your job, isn't it?
Suppose it is. It needs to be something catchy. Something simple yet evocative. Something like...
Dime qué me haré, dime qué me haré sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen desde que crucé tu jardín, si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir. Y cuando volveré, a mis brazos tenerte. Si estando libre tú eres feliz, cuando nadie tu paso detiene, la distancia no se compadece de estos ojos que sufren por ti. Y vivo la ilusión de que un día regreses. Entre abrazos y caricias confieses que no hay vida sin mí. Y dime qué me haré sin tu amor, flor silvestre. Si los días no me pertenecen desde que crucé tu jardín, si tu aroma mi alma carece, pierdo el deseo de vivir.
If you're serious about joining, you'll observe the customs. Also, it's an adventure game, that's why. Click on me. Click on me again. Ouch, stop clicking on me. If you would just stop clicking on me, I would tell you what to do next. Ooh, that felt good, though. Not there. Don't click there. This is not a mature-rated game. Okay.
She is atrocious, and I adore her.
We get 28 again. She's the captain, not me anymore.
What kind of neighborhood do you live in?
Fuck you, bitch! Right? I'm just saying what we're all thinking. Jeez! I need double scale for this. It's too much PTSD.
I swear the man changes his mind more often than most change their bitch. I swear the man changed their bitches. Oh, man. Yo, what's up? Got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't a one. Anyway.
Ethericity always fascinated me. Am I saying that right? Ethericity?
You are the first person to get it right on the first try.
Yes. And I ruined the take. Awesome. All right.
Lavender thyme hand soap. No parabens, gluten-free, moisturizing and hydrating formula. This hand soap delicately soothes and perfumes the skin. It leaves the skin feeling clean and soft. And the directions are, you dispense a button-sized drop into your hands, work into a lather, smooth over skin. Then you rinse with water. Oh, what great directions those are.
You can't just go in there without a ticket. Dumbass.
I have a feeling there's something important in there. No shit, Harley, you dumbass. Okay.
I'm afraid I don't know much about them, just that they have a small village somewhere in the valley. It's next to Encino. That's a local joke.
Patrick will follow in his father's footsteps and make a fine ranger someday. He too will die and leave behind a widow, as is traditional.
It needs to be something catchy, something simple yet evocative. Something like... Yeah, something like that.
This guy's fun. Oh no, this guy's fun. He might get horrible, but the way that he's so manipulative and awful, I find it entertaining.
And this is the Global Script.
Global Script, 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 Global Script. Woo-wee! Sorry.
Global Script, Global Script.
Global Script, Global Script.
Global Script, Global Script?
Global Script, Global Script.
Global Script, Global Script, Global Script.
Global Script, Global Script.
Global Script, Global Script. I'm enjoying the difference between the version with the two words separated and then just squished together.
He wandered off into the desert. Wow, wicked had, kid.
You have to imagine the invisible lines of power radiating out all around it. I've gone quite mad. It's a metaphor, darling, for me. Me and my invisible lines of power.
Evocator. All right. It's not Chumley. It's not just a giant pile of consonants. It's okay.
Yay! All right. Oh, the next line is yay. That's exactly how I feel. Excellent. All right. Method. All right, sorry. So
I ain't interested in any flag that hasn't got a skull and crossbones on it. Blah. After all, there's no way you could have gotten down here without General Laporte's authorization, right? Or is this an adventure game, and you definitely got down here without General Laporte's authorization? Oh gosh, my life is it's a lie!
Besides, I don't think they've yet written a statute outlawing vexatiousness. I am a writer. Have some 5-crown words while we're at it. Good sir, I have a liberal arts degree. I'm not to be trifled with. Dialogue 15. Ah, I hit my thing. You're okay. You're okay. I'm normal. I'm a normal person.
Get on with it, mustache wax. Sorry.
I appreciate you must have many questions, Miss Leger. Is it Leger or Leger? Leger. Ooh la la.
You left me dying in the street.
Yeah, sorry, lying.
Oh, did I say dying? Wow, I took that dark, didn't I? Let's try that again.
I see. Excuse me. Little frog. Little frog. Morning voice. Ragweed season. Every year I'm like, why am I dying? And it's the same plant. Pardon the death metal noise. Hold on. Are there monsters in this game? That's a shame.
Yeah, so Bridge Guy's easy. He's probably the most cartoony of all the characters. He's just a wacky old coot that's hanging out near a collapsed bridge. So if you want to go full, like, old prospector.
Oh, thank God it's my chance. All right.
I'm sure it's the role you've been waiting.
I hate you both. All in the world that I have. This is all that I have. This misshapen pile of stones. A place for the abandoned and bereft. A monument to my folly. I think this is a better choice. You want to start over? You speak of horses when I have been spurned by a goddess. Yeah, let's go with this. I've spoken to your money people, and they prefer this. Quieren esto, mijo.
Did that make sense if your water runs red sometimes? Did that read okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say, maybe one more take.
All right. What is the sense of that?
That's leaky like he's crying, but your well water runs red if you punched him and he's bleeding.
Oh, okay.
You're one of the few people that got Vespuccia right on the first try also.
Vespuccia.
Ah, my old dairy. Diary. I was going to say, wow, see, where are the cows?